Where's the line between unconditional love and unconditional tolerance?
We keep thinking that I have to stick by your side because I love you. No, loving you sometimes means loving you from afar. Loving you sometimes means allowing you to go through this on your own because you need to grow up. You need to evolve. And some people have to fall dead on their face before they finally look up and do what they're supposed to do. And you trying to love them by staying present and walking them through the situation is actually impeding their progress. That is not an act of love, because a lot of times the people hold on not because they love them so much, but they're afraid that they're going to lose them ultimately. Because I have to still be the person you value and feel that was there for you, I'm going to stick it through for you. But if I loved you, it means doing what is best for you. And sometimes that means letting you go.
What's good, y'all? Peace and ascension. How y'all elevating today? It's your girl, Monica, and this is Muse by Monica. Welcome to the channel if you are new here, and welcome back if you are returning. On this channel, we talk about turning our pain into power. Of course, happy Friday. We have another TikTok town hall. And today we're talking about transactional love. We're talking about love. We're diving deep into unconditional love versus transactional love. Are they two separate things, or are they all one and the same? In my shadow work, in my hermit introspection, isolation phase, I begin to look back or think back about conversations, cycles, patterns that I went through. And a concept that came up was the idea of transactional love, and that versus unconditional love. Placing conditions on the way you love or the way you are loved versus just allowing. And of course, the ego wants to say that there is a difference between conditional love and unconditional love. Of course, the ego wants to validate oneself by saying that I can love someone without needing anything in return. But in reality, we always need something in return. If we let go of the ego and really start to look at ourselves on a deeper level, if we really start to face those shadows, you do require something in return. You do require something in exchange. Your currency is not just financial, it is multi-dimensional. You expect to get even a simple love in return. Now, I had a conversation with an ex about the definition of unconditional love versus transactional love. And the concept is one and the same. In order to love or be loved, you are placing some form of condition and or standard on love. For me personally, when it comes to loving on someone, when I am deep in love, when I am all in, all cards on the table, all eggs in one basket, I will do just about anything for you. Whatever you need, I got you. You ask, we finna figure it out. We gonna get it done. I'm finna be your biggest cheerleader, your biggest fan. You're never gonna feel unsupported or unloved. You're always gonna feel understood and heard. And when it comes to that type of love, I find myself giving everything, anything, my all, my last, until I'm completely depleted. I didn't require this person to meet me at a level of even exchange, even if the dynamic is 80-20, 70-30. The only thing I ask of you in return is loyalty, honesty, accountability. And then when those things are mastered, can I count on us to be equally yoked in ambition and creativity and the desire for growth and standing on righteousness? So for me, when I step out of ego and face that shadow, I ultimately do place conditions on my love. My love does come with conditions. It comes with standards. I don't think love should be transactional in the sense of tit for tat. I don't think love will ever have a balanced 50-50 scale. I think we trick ourselves or manipulate and even gaslight ourselves in these relationships. And truly, the dynamic can never be 50-50. Someone is always going to be slightly less than the other. Someone is always going to be giving slightly more than the other, contributing either or than the other. But the beauty about the relationship, it is not a balance beam. It is a seesaw. When I'm down, you pick me up. When you're down, I pick you up. We are not always going to be on the same wavelength, on a consistent scale all the time. Our love is going to come with highs and lows, with light and dark. Shit is going to get messy. Shit is going to get scary. But the beautiful thing about partnership is you go into some type of agreement where you got me and I got you. We feel safe with each other. 144 on the clock. I know I'm talking to a very select group of people. If you know what those numbers mean, you know who you are. So I'm going to leave it here. There's going to be quite a few perspectives on this. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your perspective on unconditional versus transactional love. If you guys want to dig deeper, do more shadow work, please feel free to check out my website. I have free downloads, rituals and affirmations, journal prompts to help you dig deeper into your power mirror, into your shadow side. Another powerful number, 999. This is going to be very transformative. This is going to allow you to end cycles in your life. When you take the time to do this deep shadow work, face yourself, face your shadows, integrate those shadows, and heal. Again, make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, because we're going to be back here every Friday for more TikTok Town Hall. Peace, y'all. Enjoy.
There is an easy way to determine whether or not you should let an ex-friend, ex-relationship back into your life, and you do not need a tarot reader for it. Simply ask them, why do they love you? A person who actually loves you is going to say things like, oh, you know, you're super funny. You do this little dance when you eat. Things like that. Things that are completely unattached to them. A person who loves you conditionally is going to say, oh, you're kind to me. You uplift me. You helped me that one time, or you're always helping me. Those are people who are loving you under the condition that you're still servicing them. Now, I'm not trying to say that the people that love you can't love the things that you do for them as well. But have you ever stopped helping someone or stopped doing that thing, or been in a space where you couldn't provide a thing for someone and they cut you off? That's conditional love, baby. We're not doing that. Don't bring nobody back into your life doing that.
You ever notice how some people only hit you up when they need something? I had a friend like that. Always around when they needed a favor, but the minute I needed them, nowhere to be found. One time I was going through something stressful, mentally drained, and I just needed someone to talk to. I texted them and they left me on red. But then the next week, that same person hit me up like nothing ever happened, asking for a ride. That's when I realized some people don't actually care about you. They only care about what you can do for them. And it hurts at first. But let me tell you something. Losing fake friends is never a loss. It's a lesson. Real friends don't disappear when you need them. They show up. Stay beautiful.
This whole crisis friend situation definitely brought up a lot of different reflection points and just things to consider. And one of the things that really stood out to me, and as this person wrote here, is about the idea of how transactional a lot of our relationships have become. So I want to post up a little bit about how transactional friendships may look like for you, right? And this is different than the friend who is in crisis. This is different than the person who struggles with like complex mental health concerns. This is different. Like, they're not the same. Okay, number one, that friend who only cares about the things they have going on. So this looks like the friend who's in crisis. This is not the same. They're not. Your friend in crisis may actually care. They're just always in crisis. This person probably doesn't care. They only more wrapped around with things they have going on. Number two, the friend who only wants to hang out on their time. This is different to someone who likes a very strict routine, and they don't like the unexpectedness of like surprise visits and stuff like that. That is not the same as this. This is the person who literally, anytime you suggest any time to hang out, they will find an excuse unless it's on their time. Number three, this is the person who like never attends anything you have going on. Like anything that you may have personal going on, they're not there to be there. Like they're not going to show up. They're going to have excuses of why they can't show up. Number four, the friend who never celebrates any of your accomplishments. They don't see anything, not a heart, a little congratulations, nothing. You're not going to hear anything from them. That friend that is not interested in your problems or any deeper issues that you may have going on. There is nothing deep about this relationship. Everything stays pretty surface. Like if you have any like issues, this is not the person that you feel safe even to go and talk to, because they will let you know that they're not interested in some way, shape, or form. Number six, the friend that is always trying to pitch something to you. This can look like, and I'm gonna use a very bad example. Let's say your friend is a social media manager, and no matter where they go, they let people know what the work they do. They let your friends know, they let your family members know, and they do not respect when you tell them don't do that. Number seven, the people with what's in it for me. What is in it if I do this for you? Number eight, the friend that only cares about the aesthetics of the group. This is as simple as it sounds. This may be the person who cares more about like getting the perfect picture than actually being a part of the group or the friendship. They're competitive and not in a healthy way. And finally, these two are very similar. They only care about what you can bring that is closer to moving them to their goals. That's what they're more focused on.
But there is something wrong, and this is where I had to self-evaluate is, well, why are you expecting something in return? It's almost like as if you're making the friendship transactional.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, I went hard for you. I bought this for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. Do it because that's who you are, not because you're looking for anything in return. Anthony at 43, man, if I do something for you, it's because I want to do it. I'm not expecting nothing in return. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. Straight up.
Narcissists look at relationships like a business transaction. They are transactional. They are coming into the situation thinking what they can get from this person and what do they have to do to get it. They are self-serving.
The worst leadership style parents can have. Well, you know leadership, right? Leadership is it's a process that includes both the leader and the follower. But leadership styles even exist within the process of parenting. Yes, I know you think parenting is just making sure little Johnny doesn't stick a fork in the socket and make sure he says yes, please, and no, thank you. That's part of it. But parenting, it also includes leadership. It has to. And one of the worst leadership styles that exists inside of parenting is called transactional. The transactional style of leadership is the worst kind. You know, the quid pro quo, this for that. It teaches your kids that if they if they are in a relationship, there's a sense of equality. And in relationships, there actually is no such thing as equal. Not never, nowhere. Tell me a time where you can exist in the exact same spot as your man or as your woman. You can't. Now, you can be similar, but that's not equal. And just because you are similar and have commonalities does not mean that you, by any means, are suited to execute the task and the duties that are required of your partner. Now, the quid pro quo, where did that start? It started in the star system. You know, back in the day when the teachers, or maybe even at daycare, when little Johnny did something good, or maybe he was just existing at daycare or at school and he didn't curse today, he didn't be bad today. What ends up happening? Well, the teacher gave him a star for the day. And now he goes home and he has a sense of accomplishment for simply fucking existing. We can see that as the kids get older when they have a soccer game. And these, a soccer game is a form of competition. Somebody has to lose. But even now, soccer games, the loser gets a damn trophy. Transactional leadership, it erodes like the children's ability to accurately process low-lying emotions because there's no real accountability, honestly. Anyway, what do you think about this?
I used to be one of those people that couldn't date someone in the military. I was very much a conditional love person. They would have been gone too long. They would have been away from me for too long. And I just knew that about myself. Like, I knew that there were certain things that I could handle and certain things that I couldn't handle. And it was one of the things that I didn't really love about myself for a really long time. There were a lot of things that were conditional about me. And conditional is different than having boundaries. But I've been on this journey for the last few years, like 3.5 years. And I've had to learn what unconditional love looks like. Like, no matter the circumstance, no matter whether someone is showing up or not showing up, whether someone is one toe in or all in, whether someone is seeing you, not seeing you, calling you, not calling you, texting you, not texting you, whether they're seeing just you or they're exploring other things because of whatever it is that they feel like they need to go through. I have been on this journey where I have learned what unconditional love looks like. And I've had lessons before this. Before this, there were 4 people. Well, 3 people. Yeah, 4, but I don't know if before would be the right term. But we'll stick with before. Before this, there were 4 people also that I learned to love unconditionally. And I was rejected. And rejection is a hard thing to get over. But I never stopped loving them. I also learned the difference between loving someone unconditionally and being in love with someone and wanting a relationship with them. I learned a lot about unconditional love. I learned a lot about the difference between loving someone unconditionally and giving them your energy. I learned a lot about boundaries. I learned about a lot about self-respect and self-love. And when there comes a point where you can't give anymore, when there isn't a level of reciprocation, but it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you love them any less. It doesn't mean that you want to be with them any less. It doesn't mean that you're over them. It doesn't mean that you're done with them. It just means that you're done giving energy to that area because there wasn't reciprocation. And there's only so much that you can give without receiving unconditional love. A love that extends on no matter the conditions between you and that person. You're still a driver, even if you're not driving on the roads. You still hold that license to drive, just like you still hold that unconditional love, even if you're not actively engaging with someone anymore. There's some people that will see a boundary, and you'll tell them the boundary. They'll understand the boundary, and yet they'll walk right over it every time, every single time. And every time that someone does that, you do have a choice to make, and you don't have to make it quickly. You have a choice to make on if you are going to allow for that person to disrespect your boundary, if you're going to make it a big thing because it is a big thing, whether you're going to hold grace, or whether you're just going to let them walk all over you. And you have to sit with that. You have to decide that for yourself every time that someone does that. You have to decide if the timeline matters, or if it's just teaching someone to treat you that way, that it's okay for them to treat you that way. Or if you're just okay with that, with where that person is at, and you're not going to absorb it. I don't know how to explain that. What I do know is that I've learned a lot about unconditional love. I've learned a lot about the kind of person that I am. I've learned a lot about the kinds of ways that people will try to tell you who you are. And I've learned how to not allow someone to narrate who I am, because I actually know who I am, and I don't need anyone ever to define me. I define myself. I am love, unconditional love. I am grace. I am strength. I am incredible. I am forgiving. I am understanding. I am patient. I am intelligent. I am wise. I am powerful. I am loved by the Most High God. I am protected. I am fierce. I am absolutely authentic. I am truth. I am helpful. I am loving. I am compassionate. I am empathetic. I am healing. I am gorgeous, inside and out. And these things I all know to be 100% truth. I also know what I am not. I am not controlling. I am not manipulative. I am not intentionally hurtful, although truth can hurt. I am not fake. I am not weak. I'm as real as they come. And while I don't hold a lot of pride, I try to remain humble. I am proud of the woman that I am, and I love unconditionally because I am also mercy. Who are you?
Taking your friends to the airport without asking for gas money should never be something that is applauded.
First, want to give a little bit of acknowledgement here because, like many other topics, there's a lot of nuance that exists here. There are some people that have never existed outside of transactional relationships in their entire lives. And that includes immediate friends and family, even their parents have treated them transactionally. That uncle that can take you down the street because he's going anyway is not only going to want $5 from you, but is going to take it as disrespect the fact that you didn't even think to offer. So the conversation starts there, and the undertone behind it has to give acknowledgement to the fact that in under-resourced environments, everything feels finite. My time, my money, my everything, and I need all of it. And once you get past that layer, I'll say to you that I hope that for everybody, you get to exist in relationships with people where doing small gestures for you is nothing simply but a thing. It's just something that they do. They enjoy your presence enough that there is no tally mark, there is no record keeping, and that you are able to exist with them in a reciprocity system where I love you, you love me, and we show up for each other when and where we can. And that's all that it needs to be. The greatest joy that has ever been given to me in not only my work life, but in my personal life is being able to exist around people where we enjoy the ways in which we're able to show up for each other. And yes, I do mean work, because even though I work with my clients on an hourly basis, where for the time that we spend in the gym or in a coaching session, they're exchanging money for my time, in everything else that we do around each other, which we do a lot because I have curated in an environment where I work with people that I genuinely enjoy, there is no expectation that they will be billed for that. There is no expectation that I want something from them or that they should be doing anything from me. And that is an incredible blessing that I've given myself and those that get to interact with me. I enjoy being able to extend of myself in a way that feels very effortless, in a way that feels very non-transactional, but I understand that that is not a reality that has been provided to everybody. So I present myself as being the alternative, and I don't hold it against them that they may not exist in the same place, but I give them an opportunity to grow and to kind of expand their mind around how they view that. And you would be surprised how many people come around to the idea.
Do not get into transactional friendships. Most of you guys have transactional friendships and you don't even realize that. Like, you guys think that you're in friendships, and it's not. You're in a businesses with, like, and then when I say business, I don't mean like in a positive way. I'm talking about like fucking like you'll do stuff for your friends as a gift and then be mad when they don't give you something in equal exchange. Okay? So like I don't like that. If you're giving people a gift, you don't get mad at them for not giving you equal exchange. If you wanted something back, then you should have said, hey, I'm giving you this gift. I expect something back by Friday. Fuck you talking about, okay? Which is what some of you guys do. You get mad that you got, like, you don't get nothing back. Okay, but like y'all don't even communicate that. Y'all don't communicate. One, you think it's obvious, which means that you have an ego. Okay, which, by the way, guys, I like to tell everyone, okay, an ego is not a negative or a positive thing. So like, even I thought that ego was always a negative thing. Ego is not a negative thing. Like, I want everyone to just drop their guards. So when I say you have an ego, ego is not a negative, and we all have ego. Okay, it's just the idea, right? Of you open your eyes, you wake up in this world, you open your eyes, you see the world, right? And after a couple of years, you're like, okay, I get this shit. I get how this world works. I get that. I've seen it all. This is how you feel. I've seen this shit. That's how. This is ego.
People that are kind to you just to get something out of you are transactional friends. It doesn't really matter what they're getting out of it, whether it's perks like you paying for things or you having a lot of money and paying for them on certain occasions, or inviting them to luxurious vacations, or you have a job that they want to get into, or you know certain people that they want to get to know because they can benefit from those people. Or even to the point where they just want people in their life to trauma dump, to use to emotionally regulate themselves, to use them as yes men or yes women, to like constantly have like little minions around them to validate their everything. It doesn't matter what that transactional thing is, but as soon as you stop providing it, they are nowhere to be found. To me, it's manipulation, it's coercion, it's a lie. To be super, super kind to someone just because you want to get something out of them, or because you see a perk or a way to like uplift yourself or elevate yourself, and you're not actually building a relationship or a connection that is because you actually want to get to know this person, or you actually want to have like a friendship, and you don't genuinely care about the person and their feelings and their well-being. That's also another way to tell if someone's like a transactional friend, is that they don't care for your well-being as long as they keep benefiting from you. So even if that benefiting portion of it is like hurting you or making you ill or mentally unwell, they don't care about that as long as you keep providing it. And that's why a lot of people end up feeling like they're playing therapist and they themselves are getting like tired and sick and mentally unwell because someone is trauma dumping on them. But anytime you bring that up to that friend, you're like, hey, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the capacity to do this anymore. They'll get angry and irritated with you because they're not really interested in your well-being. They're just interested in getting what they want to get, what they want to benefit from. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people like this in the world where they only view friends as a means to an end, where they only view friendship as I need people in my life that are going to uplift me in a way that is like physical. And as soon as I get what I get, I'm just going to dump them. So they're looking for people to basically like up their status, but they're not looking for that reciprocity in that friendship. So it's not about you uplift me, I uplift you. We both create like this connection, this friendship with each other. We're both looking out for each other. No, they pick people that have certain perks that they want, whether it's jobs or certain types of friends, it doesn't matter what it is. And they will literally leech off you and suck you dry until you can't anymore. And then once you set boundaries and you tell them, hey, I can't do this anymore, like it's killing me, it's like draining me, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, that's when they'll drop you, ghost you, you'll never hear from them again. And it's the worst experience to go through because those type of people, you have to understand, they have a very scarcity mindset. They don't think that they themselves can achieve things and have everything in the world that they desire. So they think they have to kind of knock other people off in order to get what other people have. When somebody that doesn't have a scarcity mindset doesn't think that way. They think that your life is your life and what you get is what you have deserved in this life based on karma or whatever you believe in. And what you receive is based on whatever you believe in, whether it's karma, whether it's hard work, but you get what you deserve. You reap what you sow in this life. And what I've kind of noticed, and this is like my own belief, is that people that are transactional friends like that use other people to gain something, they tend to gain that thing and then something else collapses. And in my opinion, I feel like that's karma's way of just being like, okay, well, you used someone and lied and coerced them into thinking that you're actually interested in a friendship or relationship, whatever it was. You got what you wanted. Now you ghosted them and you dumped them and you left them with nothing. I'm just going to take this very important thing from you and see how you feel about it. Like, that's how I see it in like a karmic mindset. But yeah, in this world, like, you reap what you sow. Your intentions going into something is what you're going to get out of it. So best of luck. And it's best to stay away from these transactional friends once you recognize that they are like that. And you'll recognize it because they tend to confess a lot. They'll talk about their friends and they'll tell you, this person has this, this, and this, and I want that and that and that. So they'll confess sooner or later. They'll tell you exactly what their intentions are. You just have to listen. Hope this helped. Love you guys.
So you're telling me there's a love that exists that is not transactional? Yes. So you're telling me there's just some person out there that I can be with and they can just be with me and we can just be two human beings without any grandiose gesture, not some giant soul sacrifice, not everything I've seen in the movies and been brainwashed to believe, and that we can be compatible and have our own resources and simply share time because we want to, not because we need to. Yes, I'm telling you, it exists. It's okay if you don't believe it, but you should know that it exists.
Are you in a transactional relationship? Listen, the other day I saw a video that just blew me away of this lady. She was driving and she said, if a man calls me and I tell him that I'm going to do some self-care, like get my hair done, get my nails done, whatever, and he doesn't offer to send me money, he can lose my number. And I thought at that point, relationships have gotten so transactional. Now, what do I mean by transactional? Transactional relationships are simply, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And it's based around those things. So how do you know you're in a transactional relationship? Number one, the other person won't do anything unless you do something for them first. Number two, they rarely, if ever, initiate anything. We're going somewhere, we're doing something, they rarely initiate. Number three, you must earn their affection. In other words, it's conditional affection. If you do this, I'll do that. And last but not least, they keep score. Well, you know what? You didn't do this, so I'm not going to do that.
If it's not a us against the world type relationship, I don't even want it. You can keep it. You can keep it. I don't want transactional. I don't want I love you when it's convenient for me to. I don't want, I love you as long as everything is perfect and, we not disagreeing. Like, I don't want the sometimey type of relationship. I want to be so locked in, man, to where nothing outside us can affect or shake what it is that we got going within this relationship. It's nothing your friends gonna be able to tell you that's gonna affect what we got going in this relationship. It's nothing that your family gonna be able to tell you that's gonna affect what we got in this relationship. And I'm gonna move the same way. Like, you gotta be an extension of me and vice versa. So that's when we around each other, that's when we not around each other. You gotta move with me in mind, move with us in mind. Like, that's the type of relationship that it gotta be for me. Or else I don't want no parts of it.
I'm so tired of this transactional relationship era that we're living in. Every single relationship that we have has to be transactional. Why? Why does it have to be what he's doing for me? What bag he bought me? What trip he took me on? Where we're going? Like, come on now. What happened to genuine love? What happened to genuinely pouring into somebody? What happened to genuinely knowing somebody? We got to get back to that. We got to go back to really, really wanting to have genuine and honest and open relationships. I'm so tired of the transactional relationships.
If I do something for you and I don't expect anything back, that's called love. If I do something for you and I expect it back, that's called a transaction. That's business. That's a contract. I don't want to have a contract with someone I love. So why would I be measuring them based on how they do the exact same thing back for me?
You know the men that say they stop giving to a relationship because a woman isn't matching their effort? Well, the problem isn't that a woman isn't matching your effort. The problem is that you expect her to.
I believe, here's how you can tell the difference between a man who is healthy and a man that's toxic. The man that's healthy is looking to be of service. The man that's toxic is looking to be served.
I grew up being told that in traditional relationships, men want to provide and be of service. Men want to give. Men feel good when they give. Men want to make women happy. And a man is happy and content when his woman is happy and content. And all a woman needs to do in return is praise and appreciate him. So then I would get in relationships with men and they would provide and be of service and I would praise and appreciate. But in every relationship, the man would slowly stop being of service and start asking me to service him. More time, more energy, more attention, more money, more labor. Before you know it, you're providing all the service and they're the receiver. You can feel that imbalance and it doesn't feel right. So you ask for them to service you, the natural order of things. But you're told you're asking for too much, you're keeping score. Why can't you appreciate the things I do for you? And so you say to yourself, oh, right, I'm not supposed to keep score. I'm supposed to praise and appreciate. That's what relationship advice tells us, right? So you intentionally look for things to be grateful for. I started a gratitude journal, and after 3 weeks of writing in it daily, there was not one entry about him. So because he was no longer being of service, there was nothing to praise and appreciate. And of course, they noticed this. So when they do decide to do something, a load of laundry, the dishes, a date night, Not only do they expect praise and appreciation, but they expect something in return. Now they're keeping score and everything starts to feel like a transaction. And this was so confusing because it went against everything I was taught about men. And so it makes you think, well, maybe everything I was taught was wrong. Maybe appreciation isn't enough. And because now you're used to relationships where men are transactional, you adopt this defense mechanism, this response to scorekeeping in transactional relationships, where you don't ask for anything because you don't want it held over your head. You want things to be 50-50. Because then at least they're doing their part. Because men like this don't feel genuine pleasure in giving for the sake of giving. They only give to get. They too want you to contribute 50-50. And they enter their soft boy drizzle era, which is their ego's response to being unable to serve.
So, if I am a man that's only looking to be served, I'm not going to see you. Because I'm only going to see you through the lens of how you service me. If I'm looking to serve and be of service, then I'm going to see you. What's your need? What's your thoughts? What are your dreams? What are your hopes? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Well, why do you think that? Why do you feel that? Oh, wow, you put some lashes on today. Oh, okay. You got some extensions in. Like, because I'm looking to be of service. So I'm actually evaluating what's in front of me and identifying how I can make a benefit or make a contribution versus looking at it from like, what's in it for me?
Transactional relationships always fail in the long run. Our relationships should be mutually beneficial or reciprocal, but a lot of people don't understand what reciprocity means without transaction. And often it just comes down to what your motivation is to contribute to your relationship. In a transactional relationship, the reason that I do things for you is because I want you to do things for me. But that means I'm not going to contribute to the relationship unless I get something in return. This can look like a lot of different things, but often the example that we see is, oh, well, I make all of the money, so you should do all of the domestic labor. And if you want me to contribute domestically to do more of this labor, then I'm going to need something from you in return. That's very different from someone who says, I love you. I love a relationship. I want to build you up. I want to see you have joy. I want to contribute to this relationship so that it can be strong and beautiful. It's almost like a communal approach to the relationship versus a capitalist approach to the relationship. And it causes a big issue when one person approaches the relationship as a communal activity while the other person approaches the relationship as a transaction. Because that person who is really focused on improving the relationship and puts all of their effort in is going to do more and more and more. And as that person starts to put in a disproportionate amount of effort in the relationship, that becomes normal for the relationship. The person who sees it as transactional will start to just expect that amount of effort all the time from their partner. Even though their partner is carrying all the weight in the relationship, they're still not going to contribute more unless they think they're going to get an additional benefit from their partner. And so this continues until it becomes pretty much just a parasitic relationship. If you can call it a relationship at all, it really just starts to look like one person exploiting another person. So it's good to establish early in a relationship this mentality of giving to a relationship without expecting a return. Because if both partners are giving it their all, if both partners are truly invested in the relationship, you're going to benefit. You're both going to benefit. You're both going to be happier, less exhausted. You're both going to enjoy the relationship. But the instant that one person starts to see the relationship as transactional, all of the life is going to be sucked out of it.
When you do something for your spouse, because you're expecting a response back, that means you're in a transactional relationship. If you're in a relationship that's a covenant relationship and you just show up because that's who God called you to be, then that's a relationship that can stand the test of time. So if you've ever been in your relationship and you've stopped talking to your spouse, like you've given them the silent treatment, or you've stopped doing something that was kind because your spouse didn't show up right, or because they didn't thank you, or because they didn't recognize something that you've done, you are in a transactional relationship. That means they have to do something for you before you can show up the way you're supposed to. And that's where things go wrong.
For narcissists in general, transactional love is the only type of love that they know. They assume that this is the same for everybody. What you want to be careful of with these people is that everything is going to be transactional. So acts of service, anything they do for you will be hugely exaggerated in terms of the significance, the importance, the inconvenience, the value of their contribution. When you get into covert narcissists, they're going to definitely inform you of that cost, of how much they've done, and vice versa. They're going to flip anything you've done for them and minimize that way down. In fact, a lot of times they'll minimize it so far that they'll act like it was them that was of service or took the sacrifice for what you have done. Don't get lost in this. Don't get confused in this. Don't try to justify it. This is the only type of love they know. Now, if you want to make a narcissist really uncomfortable and take away this power dynamic, stop allowing them to do things for you. Scan all that you can for any potential string they're trying to thread. As soon as you see that they're trying to do something, they're trying to gain leverage, they're trying to indebt you into service for them, into being able to have a bought sense of loyalty and love. This is all they know. So be very careful with the strings that you allow attached to yourself.